That
Fernando
is not
Mendoza.
what I'm doing.
How about
Maybe
this
champagne.
The resume is clean, though. Joins Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, and Joe Burrow as the only starting quarterbacks to win the national title, the Heisman, and get drafted #1 overall. This here is like Christmas for senior NFL draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr., and he's kind enough to share his gift with us here on SportsCenter. Mel, who won round 1 in your eyes?
Like the New York Jets, they get Davis Bailey, then you obviously get the Kenyon Sadiq, and then you get Omar Cooper Jr. I didn't love it the middle of the first, but like him in the late first. So get weapons now on that offense, not just Garrett Wilson. So helping out your quarterback, and with the weapons they got was beneficial. In Dallas, the maneuver the way they did, but Caleb Downs, to me, to drop that far down to the Cowboys, they get a guy who can really bring a culture change to that defense that allowed over 30 points in 9 games. Then Malachi Lawrence made a move with Philadelphia, moved down, let the Eagles go up, and I love what the Eagles did, getting Malachi Leonard. Great pick for the Eagles, getting him 1 pick ahead of Pittsburgh. But for Dallas to drop back, get Malachi Lawrence, had a really good year at UCF, sets it off the charts. I thought that makes sense for the Dallas Cowboys, who needed defense. Like I said, they couldn't stop anybody. Now you get Caleb Downs, and you get Malachi Lawrence, and you keep trying to improve that defense. Don't stop there.
Listen, they were very active and will likely be going forward in these next couple of days, but that's the winners. I want to check in on the losing side. Who may have made some moves that may have puzzled you a little bit over the course of this first round?
Yeah, it's not a loser, it's surprises. And the surprise for me was Ty Simpson. I thought once they made the trade with Kansas City and 29 went away for McDuffie, that it wasn't going to be tied to the Rams. I thought late first for the Rams, or maybe Arizona trading back in to get tied. To take him at 13 as the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford on a team that wants to win another Super Bowl with Matthew Stafford, and they had a chance to get Mekhi Leonard. They could have gotten an offensive tackle like Monroe Freeling. So to take Ty there surprised me. I'd have moved back. I don't think we thought the Jets probably wouldn't. We didn't know even though if they'd go in the first round. So to take him at 13 for a team that's built for right now to try to capitalize on Matthew Stafford, future Hall of Fame quarterback, getting another Super Bowl ring, did not just surprise me, it shocked me.
Building for the future. That is an interesting move to do for an LA Rams team that, as you said, is built for right now. But I digress to move forward just a little bit to day 2. Rounds 2 and 3. Who's a player that could make an instant impact as soon as they hit the roster?
I'll give you an offense and defense. Denzel Boston, wide receiver, Washington. He's a touchdown maker, red zone threat. He's a big target. On defense, Traden Stoops, hot defensive back to play safety corner. Great versatility. Came back from an ACL from 2024. Missed the first 2 games. Then was awesome. Great tape for Traden Stoops. He'll go very quickly on day 2.
That means we are just getting started. Mel Kiper Jr. joining us here on SportsCenter. We appreciate it as always, sir.
That is football. This is football. Kevin Clark is in studio with us to talk draft. And in the space that you occupy, you talk to all of the tastemakers and the coaches, GMs, all the people that matter. Who blatantly lied to you and what they told you they were going to do versus what actually happened?
I think I missed a Roger Goodell memo that maybe all 32 teams said, if you have a fake Ruben Bain rumor, go ahead and tell Kevin Clark about it. Because I heard Saints, I heard Chiefs, but this morning had somebody with the Ravens say, hey, prayer circle that Ruben Bain falls. Manifesting, prayer circle, let's go. Need him at 14. He gets to 14. I go, here we go. The prayer circle worked. We lit all the candles. A guard from Penn State.
All right, so
Ruben Bain goes 15.
So maybe I've heard God answers all prayers. Sometimes the answer is no. Although Bain was still available. How do you reconcile that versus the guard from Penn State?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's hard, and this is the hard thing about sourcing the draft. That's why every mock draft ever is wrong. Is because if a scout says something, well, the GM can make a decision. If a GM says something, the owner can make a decision. They needed a guard. They needed interior offensive line help. We knew that. I think a lot of times around now when a guy falls to them in the draft, and that's all 32 teams, they're not ready for it. That's why guys sometimes fall 5-10 spots later than they should because a team isn't anticipating it. So I think the guard, okay move. I think Ruben Bain's going to be great in Tampa, but man, that prayer circle.
wasn't what was what led you to believe that they might go that
I heard every single team with Ruben Bain, with the exception of the Raiders, basically.
Tampa got him.
Tampa.
Okay, now let's do letter grades because that's what all 32 teams. I don't like letter grades because who the hell knows. However, on a different show that airs in the morning, you said if Caleb Downs played for Dallas, they'd be what?
Instant contenders.
So they got him. So is that what they are?
You know what? If you live in the take game, you gotta stand
Hot
in the
takes,
paint.
baby.
You gotta
Hot
stand
takes.
in the paint.
All right, I know you like that pick.
Yeah.
However, another Ohio State defender is a pick that you love. Why?
Sonny Styles, and I'm not playing to
Patronizing?
the crowd here with the Commanders. Sonny Styles, I think, is going to end up being the best player in this draft in 5 years. He didn't miss a tackle until the playoffs. Never happens in college football. His athletic profile is closer to Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson than any other linebacker. I had Ryan Day on my show a couple weeks ago. He retired from hoops, Scott, because 8th grade Sonny Styles took 2 dribbles. He didn't even know who Sonny Styles was. 2 dribbles, dunked in his face, and said, you know what? That's about it for me. And hoops has not picked up a basketball since. That's the kind of athlete he was. He was a safety. He grew into being a linebacker. He is an incredible player who's going to be instantly all over the field. Dan Quinn knows how to use athletic linebackers. Adam Peters had Fred Warner in San Francisco. This is the perfect home for him. And I think everybody says when they get their guy, we couldn't believe he was going to be there for us. I think the Commanders made it today.
I love the pick as well. I just didn't think that the Washington Commanders would be able to get him. They did. Now, a pick that maybe it works, but you just don't see it making sense is who and why.
Love the player, hate the pick. Jeremiah Love to Arizona. It has Ashton Genty vibes from last year where a great player goes into a team better. You can make a good infrastructure great with a running back, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, a historically good first-round running back from a couple years ago. But if you go to a place without a lot of hope, a running back is not going to give you that hope. So I think Jeremiah Love could have been an absolute superstar year one in a lot of places, including in the top 10. Arizona isn't one of them. And then just spending-wise, he's getting more guaranteed money than any running back in the history of the sport when you look at his contract. So I don't love it. I love the player.
Understood.
I worry about the situation this year.
All right, so as we've established, people told them there was a prayer circle for a player that they didn't take. No one's going to tell the truth because there's no incentive. There's no incentive to tell any of us the truth, frankly. But there was a lot of chatter that Arizona might like to move out of that spot. But if you're having an auction for anything and you have established a minimum bid and that minimum bid's not met, then you just don't get rid of it. So is there a possibility that the threshold of what they needed/wanted to give up the draft capital of 3 that just didn't materialize?
Absolutely. And again, you want to go to fake rumors. I was walking around Pittsburgh yesterday before I came here. Every single human being I saw on the street said that the Saints were going to trade up and try to get Reese at 3. Every single person. And you were getting stopped on the street. People would know, hey, Reese is going to go 3 to the Saints. So you just don't know how close they were, what the value they were looking for was at 3. They've been shopping that pick for a long time. It didn't end up materializing. And by the way, maybe, let's put conspiracies aside. Maybe they loved the player. Maybe they said, hey, Jeremiah Love can help us. Maybe it's not this year. Maybe we professionalize the offensive line in later rounds. Maybe we get a quarterback next year. It's a great draft to have a quarterback. So maybe they just love the player, and there's not a conspiracy theory here. I don't know what the plan is there, but I do know that, especially when you have the 3rd pick, you're going to have to give up next year's pick in the 1st round. A lot of teams were hesitant to do that because of, allegedly, the quarterbacks. Obviously, you're going to have Jeremiah Smith at the top of the draft next year. Nobody wants to be outside looking in on that draft, so I think having the 3rd pick, trying to auction it off this time, that was problematic for Arizona.
More to come from Kevin as we look ahead towards tomorrow. It feels like the draft's over. It's just one round. There's significant